We are going to create our name in Photoshop. So the first thing we need to do is open a new file. We'll go to File, New, and we'll call it Name. And our size will be 5 inches wide, 5 inches in height. Resolution should be 72. Color mode is RGB, and background color is white. Okay, go ahead and click OK. And the first thing we're going to do is create a new layer. So we're going to go over and look at our layers palette right here. Okay, if you don't have the layers palette open, go up to Window and go down to where it says layers. There should be a little check mark there that means your layers window is open. Okay, at the bottom of your layers window are some icons. We're going to click on this one right here. This one creates a new layer. So there we go. Now we've created a new layer. This is the layer we're going to create our background pattern on. Okay, so first thing we're going to do to create this background is click on our elliptical marquee tool right here. If you don't see a little circle right here, click and hold it down. You might see there's a rectangular marquee tool, elliptical, and some single row marquee tools. We want the elliptical one. Okay, so I'm just going to click and drag an oval on my screen here. And remember, if you want to move this, you can hold down the space bar. Okay, space bar lets you move it. If I let up on the space bar, it changes the size of my selection. So once I have the size of my selection about where I want it, click on the space bar, move it about to where I want it. Okay? Now we're going to fill this selection with a gradient. The gradient tool is located right here. You may see a paint bucket right there. If you see the paint bucket there, just hold down the mouse and you'll see the gradient tool or the paint bucket. So select gradient tool. Okay? And when you see the gradient tool, this menu will change up here. This should say normal. The opacity should be 100. And right here shows your gradient. If I click on this little triangle right here, it opens up my gradients. Okay? So look at these for a minute. Click on a gradient you like. If you click twice, it selects it. It puts it up there and it closes that gradient window for you. Now I'm going to click right here and drag. See that little line that follows my cursor? Wherever I go and I let go, that's where the gradient is going to go to. If I just click and drag it a little bit, it changes the way it looks. If I change the angle or the way I do it, or if I do it bigger, all these different things affect how my gradient looks. So play with that for a minute. Find a gradient you like. Next thing we're going to do is create our name. Click on the T for text and click on your screen somewhere. And then you can type. I'm just going to type my name. Okay? And you'll notice my cursor, if you look right there at my cursor, it's got that up and down arrows. That means if I click and move things, or if I click and drag, it'll move whatever that is on that layer. Okay, so I'm going to move my name. Just put it right about in the middle there. Okay, now my name is already fairly large. If your name came up small, that's easy to change. You can click and select your name and then go right up here to the size. Pick whichever size you want. Mine already went to 72. Also, you might want to click up here where it says, well, I don't know what it will say. There's different choices, but if you click there and select bold, that will make it a little fatter, a little thicker, and that helps when you're adding effects, which is what we're going to do in just a minute. Also, you can go over here to this one, click and select strong. That will make it even a little more bold. Okay? Now if you want to change the color, make sure it's still selected, and go over here to your color, click there, and just click around wherever you want to go. Pick a color. Once you have a color picked you like, wherever you click, it shows you the color you're picking right there. And click OK. Okay. Now whenever you notice when it's selected, it changes the color. So if you want to see what color it really is, just click somewhere and then you'll see what color it really is. Okay? Now we're going to add some effects. So if I click on this layer, here's the T for text. I'm going to click on the text layer right there. And you'll see down here at the bottom of this layers menu are some icons. Okay, we talked a little bit about that one already. We're going to go to this one that says FX. Okay, that's going to put some effects, E-F-F-E-C-T-S, effects. But they shortened it by just saying FX. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go down to drop shadow and click again. And you can see right here where it put on that drop shadow. Looks kind of nice. So any effect I want to add, I can click in this checkbox right here and it adds it. Okay. If I click, sometimes you can put as many of these on here as you want, but sometimes more is not better. Pretty soon they just start covering each other up. You know, that looks kind of dumb, I think, with all of them. But click, you know, pick 2 or 3 of them that you like. So find something you like. If you click on the words here, you'll notice that these options over here change. So if I click on the checkbox, it adds the effect. If I click on the words, it lets me modify the effect. Okay, you can go through and modify these things. For right now, I would suggest just leaving them alone because someone's already kind of gone through and figured out probably kind of the best things that you want to pick. Okay, so once you're done playing with these and finding something you like, go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so now our name has some effects on it. Looks kind of neat. Now we're going to add some effects to our gradient layer. In my case, this orange layer. Okay, same thing. I click on the layer that I want to add the effects to. Click on the effects. I'm going to add a drop shadow because that usually looks nice. And I'm also going to add a bevel and emboss. That gives it a little bit of a rounded effect. Okay, again, you can click on different ones. I'm going to leave it just like that and click OK. And my name is pretty much done. The only thing I have to do is get rid of some of this extra white around here. I don't need all that. So I'm going to use the crop tool. The crop tool is right here. We haven't used the crop tool yet, but I'm going to click and drag a square around it, and when I let go, it shows what part I'm going to keep and what part's going to be cut off. Anything that's gray up here is going to be cut off. So I'm going to slide this and move this till I get kind of close. Doesn't have to be super close, but I want to try to get rid of some of that white because we don't need all that. Okay? When you have it selected how you want, click Enter on your keyboard. And there we go. We're done.